yes.
I would love to be out there all the time.
Yeah.
I just don't have the skill set. I'm like, hi, I'm on my phone. Hi.
Right.
Here I am at the beach again.
Welcome back to the Southside Blueprint, your guide for buying, selling, and investing in Southern Maryland. My name's Justin Teedy, and today I'm joined by Aaron Kraling, Adrian Abramson, and Beverly Brown. So thank you guys for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Got a little bit of a full house today, but I think this will be a good podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So Beverly, I know Adrian talks a lot about you, and you're part of the same networking group, and I know that's had a big impact on Adrian. So did you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and about the networking group?
Absolutely. So I'm Beverly Brown. I'm the owner of Chesapeake Travel. So I'm a travel agent here in the Southern Maryland area. And of course, as travel agents, we can, serve anyone in the U.S. So I do have clients throughout the country. But from as a networking standpoint, I am the president of St. Mary's Business Partners, also known as SMBP. And we've been a networking group that's been incorporated since about 2014. And I've been involved with the group since then, since the beginning. Yeah, I'm currently serving my second year as president. I've done treasurer, all the things. Yeah, I'm one of the OGs.
Yeah, so it sounds like you've kind of worked your way up and done a little bit of everything.
No,
No.
no, you don't work your way up. It's who's going to volunteer to get it done.
So nobody else will do it. It's not working right.
Sometimes. Yeah, it's president by proxy. Mm-hmm.
No, that's fair. So what are some of the things you guys do in the networking group?
Well, we have a specific structured agenda weekly. So, we start the meeting at 8 a.m. 8 to 8:15 is kind of like set up, open networking. And then we really call the meeting to order. Everyone goes around through our roster. You do your elevator pitch, your 30-second spiel. Tell us, did you know about your industry or something that comes up? Mine are always travel disaster related. And then Adrian's always given us updates on the real estate market. And so, we're able to get a little bit of insight from everyone's industry and then ask for what is the referral that you're looking for? So digging down into specifically. So for example, engagement season kind of happens over the holiday season. And so as we get into February and March and April, it's like a specific referral request for me would be, I'm looking for the newly engaged.
Gotcha.
So really being able to dig down into that client avatar to ask for what you want. And so you've got a room full of people that are listening not only to your did you know moment, but also who you're looking for. And doing that weekly, it kind of sets into your brain. And so when our partners, St. Mary's Business Partners, so when our partners are out in their sphere of influence, in their community, friends, colleagues, whatever, they hear a conversation that somebody's granddaughter just got engaged, like, oh, you should have her talk to a travel agent.
I have a person for that.
Yeah.
Yep,
I got a guy for that. So, that's kind of what our business partner network is about, is I've got a guy for that. So we really try to create a roster of businesses that really can strengthen each other. So when I look at a good business partner and how to structure a networking group, it's interesting that I often look at the real estate transaction as the nucleus of a services-based business group.
And why is that?
Yeah, I'm so excited to tell you. So when you think about the real estate transaction, so you've got the agent, and you've got the title company, and you've got the mortgage company. Okay, so that's the nucleus. So that's the center of the bullseye. And then as you go a ring out, you've got all the service trades that help support getting everything into that bullseye.
Like inspection.
So you've got, you've got your home inspectors. And then from that inspection, you may need, termites control. So then you've got your pest control person. And then you've got your plumber. You've got definitely you need your homeowner's insurance. So you've got your insurance agents. And then you've got your other trades, so plumbing, electric, those kind of things, HVAC. So all of these trades like service that transaction, right?
No, it's crazy. Real estate really is such a heavy referral industry.
It is.
And I think like there's so many times where we go over to a house and they're like, do you have a person for this? Do you have a person for that? And it's whether it's a cleaner or mold remediation, anything. So I guess needless to say, it's good to make relationships with a real estate agent.
Absolutely. Well, and vice versa. Like it's really good for real estate agents to have a trusted circle of service providers or a network like we do to rely on. And then, so then once you get through all the trade services and then you're going out to the next ring, right? So now we're further out for the bullseye, but then it's who services the service people. So now you've got marketing, printing, promotional items.
Who sells the shovels?
Yep, exactly. And then, I'm somewhere out in the stratosphere, right? Like I'm fun and entertainment. I'm your vacation, so I'm nowhere near the nucleus, but sometimes buying a home and moving and all that is exhausting and you might need a vacation. And so now somewhere out here in that bullseye, I sit and I've cultivated the relationships through all the service partners, all the tradespeople down to that core of the agent, the mortgage, the title, and the insurance.
So I got a question. This one's way off base, but is there something that could be set up for relatively inexpensive that could be a travel like closing gift for a client?
There could be, you could do like a gift certificate or, that they could apply to a trip that they wanted to do. Could be something like a nice little travel pack where maybe it's an the newest, greatest airplane pillow, some eye masks, nice luggage tags. So there's a lot of different ways. And I'm always asked, can you give a trip? Can you give a house? I mean, honestly, because some of my trips are, the cost of small houses. But, so we can't do that. And our suppliers, don't give us free trips to give away. But when it comes to like, is it a dollar value that goes towards a trip? Absolutely. So one of the things I do in my networking activities is I will sponsor the hole-in-one at a golf tournament, and I'll do a $10,000 to $15,000 all-inclusive golf vacation package with Sandals Resorts.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start playing golf.
I'm gonna start having golf.
Yeah. You gotta get that par 3 hole-in-one though.
It's too easy.
But
Mini golf, right?
so it looks great, right? Like you're like, oh my God, wow. That's an amazing hole-in-one prize. Am I paying $10,000 to $15,000?
No, nobody's gonna win it either.
I guess it's similar.
I'm getting hole-in-one insurance.
It's similar to those people. I mean, it's March Madness time now, and every year it seems like it's been more prevalent that you see somebody offering $1 billion prize for a perfect bracket. And I think
That was Warren Buffett
yeah,
to his employees.
and I think the probabilities of that are like 1 in. It was like quintillions. It was some number I've never even heard of before.
You have better luck winning the lottery than having a perfect bracket.
So check this out. They say if you covered the example of winning the lottery, the Mega Millions or Powerball, they say if you covered the state of Texas in 3 inches of quarters, and there was one that was the right one, you would pick it the first try. That's your odds of winning the lottery.
Yep. And now imagine that bracket, right?
Yep. Even worse.
Duke busted mine.
Yeah. No,
It paid me to put them in that position, but I was going for the win.
What will you do without that billion?
Exactly.
So, Adrian, how do you think the networking group has impacted your business? And
I think it's better than what I expected. I was actually an introvert. This has helped significantly grow my relationships within the community and also those partners that Beverly just talked about, your insurance agency, your plumber, your home inspectors. A lot of times they have been in the community. Their business has been around for a long time. They have a wealth of knowledge to share with you. And a lot of times we'll come in there and like you said, we're asking for a referral, but we're also giving knowledge and asking for problems that we have in our business that we don't know how to solve. So it's just thinking out loud and getting advice from people that have been established in the community. And I mean, I am sad when I miss it every Thursday. If you miss it, you're supposed to have a sub to come in and for your 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
It's our 30-second elevator speech to tell about our business, to tell about what's going on in the real estate world, to ask for those referrals in that 30 seconds. But yeah, just tell them about your business.
Cool.
What's interesting though is when you think 30 seconds, some are introverts. They're like, oh my God, I can't talk for 30 seconds. And then you don't realize how short it is. So one of the things that, being in a structured networking group does is it really helps you hone in that elevator pitch or that 30-second introduction, that opportunity that you have to meet someone, whether it be at like a business after hours or, some sort of sponsored happy hour through some of the stuff that you guys do, SMART does, you get that opportunity. And so we're practicing that weekly.
Gotcha. So
And we're pros at it.
Yeah. How do you get in? Is there like a hazing or initiation?
$5,000. No, I'm just kidding.
Barbed wire.
Yeah, exactly. No, so as far as our group goes, there's a distinct factor with our networking group is we allow one business per industry category. And then if there's some businesses that can be divided off, so for example, insurance, we have a property and casualty insurance agent in our group, and then we have health, life, and business insurance. So we kind of divide that category. With real estate, we divide it with residential, which Adrian's our representative for that. And then there is an opportunity for a commercial because, those two lines of a transaction and two lines of the industry in real estate, you guys know it's very different. It's a completely different world.
Absolutely.
And so we find that there are certain industries where we can divide the categories, but we as a member, there's only going to be one person in your lane. So it's kind of exclusive that way. We definitely welcome. Yeah, there's not competition amongst members. And we welcome everyone to come visit us and kind of see what we do. And if your seat's empty, like if there's a lane for you or an industry that's not already filled, we allow you to come as a visitor twice. And then after that, you've kind of felt us out, see what we do. And then you can make a decision whether you want to join or not. So you get to visit 2 times for free. And then after that, we're going to ask you if you want to be a member.
Cool.
Sure. Now, is it something that, even if somebody maybe didn't want to become a member, but just wanted to do a little networking, they could join? Or is it mostly a members focused group?
Yeah, well, St. Mary's Business Partners is a members-focused group because we are really based around that hot referral. Like, we're really based around growing each other's businesses through our trusted partnerships and relationships. So that commitment to the weekly meeting, there's studies out there that say, how you stay top of mind is making sure that you see someone on a regular basis. So a weekly meeting, really, it's a model that works. It's proven by another organization that I prefer not to mention. That's global. Not gonna do it.
Beep.
Yeah. So being able to stay top of mind, that's that exclusivity. So when you're out and you're hearing those conversations, you're like, oh, I got a guy for that. When I meet a new real estate agent and I hear them talk about things like, oh, you need a home inspector. Well, I know so-and-so. I've known them for years. They've been a part of our network. I trust them, So
is there a home inspector in the group right now?
There is not.
No.
Plug out there, home inspecting companies.
Yeah, that's a good opportunity.
Yeah.
Aaron's got a good one.
I do?
Oh, fantastic.
Good, yes.
So it is kind of
twice.
exclusive. Yeah. Tell them to come visit us.
Yeah.
Thursday mornings at 8 a.m., second floor, Leonardtown Volunteer Fire Department, Social Hall. Short plug, sorry.
Yeah, right.
Link in the comments section below.
No,
sure.
our website is being rebuilt.
Yes.
So you said you don't have a home inspector. So what are some other trades or career fields that you guys are looking to fill those seats?
We would love to get a plumbing company, an HVAC, and an electrician.
Really? Okay.
And then I'd love to get like a landscaper lawn care service. And one that could really benefit even just amongst the members itself. It's like an auto detailer.
I got one, a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Fantastic.
He's got the guy.
You got the guy.
hookups.
Right, yeah.
Send him our way. But what I find with some of the trades and some of the smaller operated businesses, that auto detailer may have a full-time job. And so he can't commit to every week. As we get into the busy months during lawn care season, you know, that lawn care company, unless they have a dedicated like salesperson or marketing representative, it's really tough for the owner who's also operating and doing some of the work or running the crews to get out weekly at 8:00 in the morning because, you know, they got to get their work done before it gets too hot throughout the summer months. So, and trades companies, you know, they're usually getting their crews dispatched for the day. So, you know, trying to find that right fit that can commit to the weekly meeting. And when we can find them, they're blown away at how we can help their businesses grow. Another one is a security company. We haven't had like a home security company in a while.
Yeah.
Aaron's probably done all these things.
Yeah.
At one point or
Probably
another.
had a business.
I'm just thinking of different people in my network that might be interested. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll have to drink about it later.
So I'd love to hear from you, Adrian, how the networking has personally impacted you and your business.
Really, it's the connections that I've made. I feel like we all look out for each other. We know each other on a personal level. So what we have going on in our family life, you know, it's just we have that guy, we have that person, and we hold actual one-on-ones with each other on a weekly basis to get to know, to deep dive into our business and our personal life. So I think it's just been on that aspect, the relationships that I've built. And, you know, in this business, it's all about networking. And before this, I was with Berkshire Hathaway, and I just kind of felt left behind. Norm was the one who actually, I went to another networking group. I was like, I got to get out there. I got to get my name known. And, you know, this is not something I did. I would not do this at all before this. And I met Norm, and I actually met Bill Saunders. And Norm was the one who introduced me. Norm actually used to be a real estate agent too. Now he's in pest and wildlife control.
Home Fixer LLC.
yes.
Just shout out Norm
Yes,
Stafford.
Yes.
We love him.
But like she said, I visited twice. I don't think I actually signed up and became a member.
No, it took some time.
But then I came back, and then from there, it just was a perfect fit for me anyways, because they really do take you in. I've learned so much just about the different businesses here. And then, you know, I haven't necessarily gotten any referrals myself, but they're the lender in the group. I have referred her business. But just making those connections is really the biggest thing for me. Getting my name out, getting to join these groups, the different events. I love to volunteer now. I think that's the best, you know, to me, to get to know you and get people to know who you are. And I just love giving back anyway. So if I could say anything, I would definitely join or find a networking group. I'm also an auxiliary member of the Legion in Lusby. And then there's a women's group in Drum Point, the neighborhood I live in. And just making those connections is the biggest thing for me.
Nice.
Honestly.
Well, I have to tell you, I remember when Adrian first came.
Oh, yes.
I knew immediately she was an introvert.
Yes.
And so I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a little bit of an extrovert, self-proclaimed. So it's fun for me to watch, you know, someone come in a little shy at first, and then just make sure that they feel comfortable, because I'm a nurturer at heart, you know, and so I do remember that shy Adrian a couple years ago, and that she's not that girl anymore.
No.
Like, definitely has. I've watched her grow in her presentation of her 30-second speech. I've watched her grow in just having thoughts and speaking up, because sometimes we have issues we have to discuss about amongst the group. And I've just watched her become more that confident professional agent than the shy girl that walked in originally.
I was shy to do this, or not shy, but like nervous as all could be. And I'm like, I can't keep letting stuff that scares me hold me back from stuff. I'm like, I don't know what I'm so scared about. I'm like,
Yeah, the cameras eat your soul.
right. But no, I mean, it is. It just is. They really do take you in and just kind of show you, and you learn so much from them. I mean, it's amazing what they really do. And a lot of them are in the community, so they know about issues that you wouldn't necessarily know about. But like she said, they'll all tell you about what's going on in their business, problems that they've had, or they'll come with stuff that they just want an opinion. How would you handle this situation? And obviously we talk to Billy or Courtney when we have those ideas, but talking through it, you're like, think of things, or they come up with things or suggestions that you would never think of, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I talked to you. But yes, it just
you've got a room full of 20 plus professionals in their industries and SMEs of their industry, and whether you're a solopreneur or a business that has 20 to 30 employees, we all experience similar issues in business, and so how would you handle this, or how did you handle that? And instead of kind of going at your own when there comes problems and stuff, you got a team to like run things through, and it's a safe space, so like no one's going outside that space going, oh my God, did you hear this? I can't believe she didn't know that, so that's not what we're about. We're really about building that trusted partnership and business relationship that often spills over into friendships as well.
I think there's a lot of value too, especially in the type of industries we're in, and doing something uncomfortable, because a lot of our business comes from cameras and talking to people and, just making those connections. So to your point, Adrian, because I think recently you've started to put yourself out there a little bit more online.
Yeah.
And I feel like you've been seeing some success from that.
A little bit. I mean, I'm old school. I don't know computers and this stuff and doing the videos and setting them up, but it's easier the more you do it. And then, like I said, I just don't want nothing to hold me back, because, you can go so far in this business, and that's where everyone's going is social media, online cameras and stuff. I still don't know if I'll be, like Amber all the time, but I mean, it's not bad as I think it is, but I'm still learning, still doing it, but.
Right. I think a lot of it, the hardest part is just pulling out the camera and hitting record.
That's right.
After that, you can edit it and make it look nice afterwards.
That's right. Yeah.
And that's the introvert over here. Like,
right.
That's the introvert style.
Exactly. Yes.
I would love to be out there all the time.
Yeah.
I just don't have the skill set. I'm like, hi, I'm on my phone.
Right.
Hi.
Right.
Here I am at the beach again.
That's right.
But it's like, when you have the tools in the technology to be able to do something like this and have the editing skills and look more polished. I think that's, from a social media standpoint,
For sure.
that's where a lot of us do struggle, is that the tools to make it look good. And I hate the word influencer. I hate it.
What do you prefer instead?
Subject matter expert. Right?
Subject matter expert of Instagram.
I'd rather be an SME than an influencer.
Yeah.
But, in our industry, in the travel industry, there's influencers out there on social all the time, and they're making lots off of their video content.
It's crazy.
Have them fix your flight problem, right?
I mean, you can always rebrand if you wanted to get real creative, like OnlyVans.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Right. And then I'm gonna have my checkered Vans on.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
That's
Yeah.
my feet pic and my checkered Vans.
Feet pic.
All right, never mind.
Well,
We'll edit that out.
No, I think there's a lot of value in the social media aspect of things, but I think there's also a fine line too, because there's so many influencers you see. I know, especially in the real estate space, where it's at a point where their job is being an influencer. I don't think they're selling as much real estate as they're selling to real estate agents. Mm-hmm. So as much as putting yourself out there is important, I do think there is a little bit of a line where you get to a point of, okay, which path do I want to take?
Absolutely. And I think, in this day of social media and influencers, what is happening is content is being monetized.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I got real excited. Well, I was nervous at first when I got this email that was a PDF from Meta that was like, oh, here's your invoice. I don't owe you anything. I didn't buy anything. What do you mean? Oh, no, I got monetized on my content.
Nice.
And it was like $24.
Yeah.
Well, that's nothing in the world of an influencer.
Right.
But I was like, look at me.
$24.
$24. That's
Somebody
why.
look at my stuff.
Yeah.
Starbucks. Here it comes.
Yeah. No, that's a 12-pack of White Claw. Plus tax. Like, so when you say like that crossover from agent to influencer, and it happens in our industry too. And I think in a lot of service-based industries, it's from you're the expert to the influencer. It's social media monetization of content is making that happen. I mean, people are making full annual salaries off monetized content.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not the one making it.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm watching. Like I have a trip upcoming to Paris, and so now all of a sudden my algorithm has been flooded with all of these influencers that are in Paris, and they're Americans that are in Paris, and they are just, their content is amazing. So even as a travel agent, I know a lot about travel to Paris. I've planned dozens of trips to Paris for people. This is my first time. And so there's little nuances that I'm learning that I would have known if I didn't doom scroll and the algorithm didn't pick it up. And I know they're making lots of money.
Right. Yeah. So what's your take on all this, Aaron?
I mean, I think networking is super important. We all have our different ways of going about it, but I think having a structured group where, there's a dedicated person for each different trade or specialty or profession, I think there's a lot of value in that. Mm-hmm. I would say I'm going to come to one of the meetings. Get my two free ones.
Yeah.
All about the free trial.
You can fill in when Adrian doesn't go.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. You can be my sub.
Yeah. So, and that, we'll talk about that sub. We've mentioned that a couple times. So, from a structured networking group, right, we need your butt in the seat. And so if you're not going to make the meeting, we want you to either reach out to a fellow member, send in your referral request, and then any referrals you have to pass to the other members, and or send a physical substitute. So butts and seats is really what makes the difference, because that's when you've got the audience. So if you're only there twice a month, what value are you getting, number one, and what value are you bringing, number two?
I can send some fun subs.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say too. Like it's going to social media influencers out there. We can have 1 million LinkedIn connections, but this is a truly trusted relationship that you get to see, you get to meet, and really learn about them. And I just think there's no other difference. I mean, that's the biggest takeaway, is that it's not just a random follow that you see on LinkedIn.
And there's a difference. So, they're in the networking scheme. So sometimes I think networking gets a bad rap, right? Because we think that schmooze and booze happy hour.
Yes,
right? And listen, I'm all for a good schmooze and booze.
Yes.
Like, I will watch the roster of who's hosting the business after hours for the chamber, and I know which ones I want to go to, and the others I'm like, meh.
Yeah.
I've been around a long time. I've been involved in the chamber since, 2007. When my first job at county government in the tourism office when I moved here 20 years ago. And so, there's those. So to me, that's the entry level of networking, right? It's a big audience. There's a lot of people there. All you're doing really is handshaking and business card passing or contact passing, right? It's not a tried and true success route. That's like the dating stage of networking. Like I just got to meet you. And then there's the follow-up. So having lunch with that person or meeting them after work for coffee or an adult beverage, just to kind of break down the wall and get to know someone on a more deeper level, other than you just see them once a month at the chamber networking happy hour, right? And then, so the difference from that being kind of, you're trying, but it's still a little bit passive. We're like full in active networking because we are doing the deep dive into each other's businesses, understanding what is a good referral for you. And in the real estate agency world, there's all kinds of clientele, so you might be a specialist in military moves because you've worked with so many families that have come in or out of our area, so then you get a little insight to that agent's specialities and some of the things that make them different in their industry that really helps you understand their business model, who they are as a person, who they are as a professional, and then you can feel very comfortable in referring them and making that introduction for them, that connection to say, hey, and it's not just, oh, I gave so-and-so your number. No. we are doing actual introductions, whether it's a group text, whether it's an email that says, hey, I wanted to introduce you to Adrian. I heard you say your term's coming due. You guys are going to have to move. She would be a great asset for you to talk to because of all these things that I know about Adrian and her business style. That's what we're doing. Like I said, the schmooze and booze, it's fun, but you're not going to get business out of that. You've got to go to a deeper level.
And that's what I was going to say, too, with some networking groups that we go to, like for real estate agents, it's all realtors. So it's like, they go to the people they like and it's clicky. And then it's like there's not any other businesses or industries in there. It's all real estate agents. So with this, it's one of each industry person. And I think that's awesome, too.
I mean, and it's fun to hang out with your industry peers.
Correct.
And it's funny because the schmooze and boozes, they do get very clicky. Yes. And I remember when I was in the hotel industry here locally, all of us hoteliers hung out at the business after hours because we all had a common connection. We're talking about like what's going on in the industry. Are you seeing demand in the market? What's happening at Pax River? Like what's bringing people to the area? And we were a really close knitted group. And I noticed that when I was going to chamber events, like I just stayed with them.
Right.
Yeah. And then if you have a partner in networking, sometimes you just have to divide and conquer. So my husband and I could not stay together at a chamber event because I'm an extrovert. He is a bit of an introvert. And so if I'm there, like he doesn't really get the chance to speak because I'm an extrovert. So we would just like at the chamber event, hi, glad you're here. Kiss you, and then we go off and we do our things and we meet up and go have dinner afterwards because he needed to go talk to the people he needed to go talk to, and I generally ended up in my clique. But, I always knew so many people at those events. For me, it was very comfortable to come into that event for the first time. It can be very uncomfortable. And so as the extrovert and as someone who leads a networking group, what I do when I am at those events is I look for that new face that doesn't look like they've been there before. And I'll introduce myself to them and say, so, hey, and what do you do? Great. Well, let me take you to go meet so-and-so. Yeah. And then let me go take you to meet so-and-so. So the extroverts out there, when you're networking and you see that shy person in the room, grab them, introduce yourself to them because they're not going to want to introduce themselves to you, no matter how hard you try, and show them the way.
Help make the introduction a little bit smoother.
This is the way.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And I think going back to the referral piece of it too, how close you guys are in the group, I think that's important because ultimately when you refer somebody, it's an extension of yourself. So you want to make sure the people you're referring, you actually trust.
Yes. And I will tell you from Adrian, I got the most wonderful referral I could ever possibly get from a business partner, from a networking partner.
I didn't know this.
Her father.
Oh, wow.
She referred me to her parents. You know, and so to have that level of trust where you're going to, you know, give the reins to your family over to someone to take care of them and know that they're going to take care of them, I think that's hugely important. And we see that with our insurance agents. We see that with our real estate agents. We see it with our service providers in the group. We know if we're giving you our family, we trust you. Because we know you're going to take very good care of them, just like you do all your other clients. And so to get someone's family as a referral, that to me is like chef's kiss of networking.
No, it really is, because you always send your family to the best person in that industry that you know.
Try to.
You don't send your family to the B team.
For sure.
So, kind of wrapping it up, I wanted to ask both of you guys, if you had one piece of advice as far as networking goes that you think could change somebody's career trajectory, what would that be?
I'm going to let her take it away first because I want to hear what she has to say.
Okay, I knew she would. But my biggest advice would be if you're not part of any group and you're looking to kind of grow your business or make connections in your community, just do it. I know there are tons of different groups, and I was fortunate to meet a member of SMBP through another networking group. So I know it kind of can be hard, but if you're thinking about it, just try it out. See if it's the right fit for you. Do it. You might be pleasantly surprised, honestly. I am so grateful that Norm invited me. He was like, hey, our group needs a realtor. And I was like, I was just brand new. So I was like, and of course, going back to that, I don't know, this is not me. But I was like, how am I going to do this? I don't know tons of people. And I just went, and I am so happy that I did. So just do it. Try it out. Just try it out is my biggest advice.
I love that. So my piece of advice is going to be consistency. You can't be a passive member of anything. So let's talk about like Chamber of Commerce memberships or organizational memberships like SMAR. You can't be a passive member. If you're not active and engaged in the organization that you're a member of, you're not going to get anything out of it. You get into things. You get out of things what you put into them. So just saying you're being on the directory of the Chamber of Commerce isn't getting you business. So you've got to be active and consistent. And whether that's showing up at the regular happy hour thing and getting to know people and then setting that next appointment to get to know them better, whether it's a networking group like ours that meets on a weekly basis, consistency in networking is the key. You can't just show up once, show up twice, and be like, well, that didn't work.
Right.
Because literally, what was your effort?
Right.
And
gotta stay top of mind.
Absolutely. And there's a phrase that I love, and it comes from Ray Lewis. And he said, effort. Can't nobody give you effort. Effort is between you and you. And so if you don't put the effort into networking, nothing's going to come out of it.
I think that's perfect advice because it goes hand in hand in our business. What we put into this business is exactly what we're getting out of it. And it took me a little while to learn that. But like you said, consistency, effort, it's got to be there for it to work for you.
Yeah, and the effort that you put in, you'd be amazed at some of the things that come back to you. And
yes,
you've referenced like the informational knowledge that we get on a regular basis. So we have, can I do a shout out?
Of course.
Okay,
yeah.
perfect. So we have an amazing accountant in our group, Mary Slade, Bookkeeping by Blanche. She's phenomenal. She is a self-proclaimed tax nerd. Her goal in her business is to have small businesses pay as little taxes as necessary.
Great
So
point.
through tax strategy with your businesses and your income, she gives us some of the best advice. She keeps us updated weekly on all the tax law changes. You know, when the big beautiful bill came out and there was all these changes and, you know, no one really knows how they're going to get implemented. She tells us all the issues with the IRS and how they don't have it together.
Really?
Believe it or not, you know, and so having that kind of knowledge from each industry represented in that room is just so powerful. It's just so powerful. I would pay my membership annually just to get her weekly tidbits. And, you know, it's that kind of energy, camaraderie, trust, and information sharing that can come out of a really good networking group and experience.
For sure. And a lot of them, well, not a lot of them, but there are quite a few that have been there from the beginning. They have not left. And I think that's that says a lot too. So.
Yeah, we started it was one of those other groups that won't be mentioned. And that organization's costs were just too prohibitive for small businesses in Southern Maryland. So a lot of the members in the group originally were solopreneurs. And it was just cost prohibitive. And so they just said, we're going to do it our own way. So we're going to take some best practices. We're going to do what's good for our local small businesses. And, you know, that was 2013, 2014, and we're still going strong in 2026. Yeah. So I'm really proud of the longevity of the group.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Awesome. Well, if somebody was watching and looking to learn more about it, maybe get involved, where should they go?
Oh, man.
I know.
That's a tough one right now because
your website's under construction.
Yeah, our website's under construction. If anyone is interested, you can reach out to me, Beverly Brown. You can find me on Facebook. You can find my Facebook page, Chesapeake Travel. Hit me through social contacts, and I'll get you the information that you need about the group. Same with Adrienne. You can hit her up through her social media channels. You know, sometimes you have to reinvent yourself or rebuild. And so right now that's what we're doing with our website. And so it's down. But yeah, so Beverly Brown,
Awesome.
Beverly.Brown@ChesapeakeTravel.biz. Send me an email if you're interested in St. Mary's Business Partners, and we'll get you the information that you need. But weekly mornings, Thursday, 8 a.m., second floor, Leonardtown Volunteer Social Hall. Show up, we'll welcome you.
Yep, for sure.
The first 2 times anyway.
First time. Yeah. Then I'm going to give you an application.
Right. Yes.
Awesome. Well, Beverly and Adrienne, thank you guys for joining us today.
Thank you
It
so
was a
much for
pleasure.
having us. This is a blast.
Of
fun.
course. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Southside Blueprint, your guide for buying, selling, and investing in Southern Maryland. If you'd like to learn more about Beverly and Adrienne or the St. Mary's Business Partners, you can check out the links below. See you guys next time.